Thank you for tuning in to the Shikama Live Show with your host, Shikama. If this is your first time watching one of my videos, be sure to subscribe and look at my other videos. They're pretty interesting. So, according to a Harvard law professor, all marriages in the United States today are illegal and unconstitutional. Now, before you run around screaming, pulling your hair, and acting crazy, let's go over it. Under the Constitution, it states, very matter-of-factly, there is to be no marriage of church and state, meaning the government cannot put forth laws that impact any religious institution whatsoever. Marriage, from its inception in the United States, was a religious institution. This entire notion about marriage and women's rights and feminism and the patriarchy and all of that stuff, have you noticed they have not challenged marriage itself? They'll come out and say that they hate men, but then they will do all of these divorce things like alimony, which was for your side chick or concubine or your mistress. That's what alimony was for. It wasn't for your wife, because why would you need to pay alimony to your wife? Because you were married to your wife. Alimony was to shut up your mistress so that she would go away and disappear and never bother you again, and keep quiet and not tell anybody that she was your mistress. Child support was something concocted by the feminist lobbyists from the very beginning, and a way for the state to also make money. Surprise! So women are not going to challenge a marriage license or the legality of marriage. We turn to men, and of course, the regular man isn't going to challenge because a regular man doesn't think about it. But, according to the Harvard law professor, all marriages today are illegal. There should be absolutely no regulation, as a regulator, of marriage, period, by the state. There should not be a marriage license. That goes against the very concept of marriage. That is saying that the state authorizes, is prescribing marriage, which is a religious institution, which goes back to the constitutionality. You can't offer a license for something. That means that you can deny marriage. The courts have said that the state has an interest in the health of its people, so they try and circumvent that whole constitutionality by saying that you can't have brothers and sister marry, you can't have first cousins marry, so forth and so on. These have all been state Supreme Court cases. I don't know about Supreme Court cases. But if you can prove that you are distant cousins, you're allowed to marry, and sometimes you need permission from the legislature of your state. That means that the state can deny you from getting married, which is unconstitutional. It has nothing to do with anything other than religion. Marriage was mainly arranged by families and performed in a church in a religious ceremony. That is as it stands today. Unless the MRAs, MGTOWs, or pickup artists actually give constitutional challenges to marriage, and I guess specifically in a divorce proceeding, to the constitutionality of a judge to preside over the dissolution of a marriage as regulated by the state, we will never change the system of the state regulating marriage. And I don't understand why the clergy doesn't speak up. The clergy should be the main ones speaking up, since they are the ones actually performing the marriage, serving as counselors and serving as guidance and marriage counselors. They have an actual vested interest in marriage being completely and wholly religious. Nobody has ever thought about this because most people don't understand the legality or the unconstitutionality of marriage in the United States. Now, in other countries, I don't even want to go there because it doesn't matter. We're not Canadian. I'm not really talking to Canadians or Russians or Koreans. They can do whatever they want to. I'm talking about the United States. In the United States, under our Constitution, all marriage today is unconstitutional. Not that the people getting married have done something wrong, but the state has done something wrong by writing laws requiring licenses, which means you're regulating marriage. You are taxing marriage. And all of the IRS codes, all of that stuff, everything is illegal. IRS taxes, income taxes, filing jointly, that is all illegal. All of it is illegal. Insurance is private, by a private company that has nothing to do with it. But the IRS, everything that impacts quote unquote marriage is all illegal. Now, you're not going to have a pronouncement unless you take it to court. Unless you get the state Supreme Court to say, you're right, it's unconstitutional, illegal. Unless you take it to the Supreme Court, the U.S. Supreme Court, and they say, you're right, it is unconstitutional. Until you challenge it in a court of law, it's not going to be declared illegal and unconstitutional. And so that is your road. If you want to come out from under this new world order that has a hold of the population about marriage, this entire marriage thing, and everything that you're talking about, in feminists and all the feminist lobbyists who have really destroyed the institution through legal means. There should not be a child protective service. None of that stuff. None of that stuff should be in place. None of it. None of it. I want you to go sit down and go through everything that concerns marriage and say that it is illegal. Then your eyes might actually be open to what is really going on in the United States. I don't often deal with feminism on my channel, but just today I was inspired, and this, I think, is the ultimate summit of the entire feminist agenda. They have destroyed marriage as we envision it, being two families coming together through the marriage of their children and creating a child from that marriage that then joins the two families by blood. It's all unconstitutional and illegal today. Tell me what you think about that. Thank you for watching the Shagama Live Show.